Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Charlie and I have recently finished the Walt Disney World Cultural Representative Programme. This is a 12-month programme set up for people of the UK to work in the UK Pavilion in Epcot. If you're new to my channel, I've just finished my whole year working for Disney. You can go back and watch all my videos. I recorded so many videos over my time there. But today's video is going to be a Q&A, my first Q&A, because I've got so many questions sent to me on my Instagram. So on Charlie's New World on Instagram, I put up a Instagram story where I asked as many people as possible to send the most randomest, weirdest, any burning questions about the programme, and you guys delivered. So I'm going to answer so many of your questions. I've kind of organised them into different categories. So in today's video, it's going to be all about working for Disney. Then I'm going to do a programme all about living in America, all about living on your own, the things that are given to you, the opportunities that are out there. Then I'm going to do another programme about the actual day-to-day life on the CRP. So if I don't answer all your questions in this video, stay tuned for my others and hopefully I'll answer them in another. And then if not, we might have to do another Q&A. We'll see what happens. But in today's video, it's all going to be about working for Disney and my experience working on the programme. So sit back, relax and enjoy. This video is probably going to be really long, so stay tuned, okay? Right, so I'm going to start with the first question, which is quite an obvious one. What is it really like working for Disney? Now, I want to start by saying Disney was my absolute dream job. Doing the CRP has been my dream for like the last 10 years. So the fact that I was able to do it itself was like a dream come true, and I was already so appreciative of the experience before I was even out there. I will say from the bat, not everyone is as appreciative of the experience as you think they will be. Of course, everyone's different. It's a workplace. Of course, all workplaces have people that aren't like-minded and things like that. But when I went in there, I really thought everyone would be like-minded people and would be obsessed with like making a great experience and just having the best time ever. Of course, things happen. You're so far away from home. So my first bit of advice would be don't expect everyone and everything to be perfect and happy and sunshine at all times, because it's not. And that is the beauty of the programme, because it is real life. Although it looks like a dream online, it is real life and you are living in it. You are the main character that's living in this crazy wonderland of a life. That didn't even answer the question. That's just a bit of advice where I went off topic. But the question was, what is the best thing about working for Disney? First of all, I'll say the best thing about working for Disney is working for Disney. I worked for Disney. Like, isn't that amazing that I can tell people that I've done that? Like, the people that are around me now, they just don't hear the end of it because I worked for Disney. Like, not many people can say they worked for Disney. And of course, people, when I say I worked for Disney, people just think, oh, you worked at the Disney store. No, I worked at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Like, that is a massive flex. It's an amazing thing. And the thing is, it really was amazing. So that is probably one of the best things about working for Disney. Of course, you're working in this magical place, the most busiest tourist attraction in the world. The place where everybody knows of Disney World, and the fact that you're able to go there every single day, you work there, you live there, it's just an absolute incredible experience. And like right now at home, like I miss it so much. It was just amazing. Like, you're working at the most magical chippy on earth, you're working in the most magical pub on earth, so no matter how bad your day is, you've just got to tell yourself, wow, like, I dreamed of this. Like, I'm working in the most magical chippy on earth. Like, this isn't just a chippy down the road from my house. This is a chippy in Orlando, Florida, in the sunshine, in the heat. Yeah, the heat's horrible and there's some days where you're absolutely dying. But wow, like, what I would give to go back. Of course, I've done my time. I've done my programme. Like, I'm so happy that I've done it and I've come home and I've just, like, I'm very happy with that experience as a whole. But if I was, like I said this a few times, like if I was told that I could stay an extra like 6 months, I would have done it in a heartbeat, because it was just so amazing. Even though at the end of my programme, I was very ready to come home. Like, I was so ready to eat a Greggs. I was so ready to have a UK McDonald's. I was so ready to have a Domino's, a Toby Carvery. I was so ready to come home. Right now, after it's all worn off, I'm so ready to be back. Next is, I've heard there's really good shifts. What was your favourite shift? Of course, most days are pretty much the same. Of course, every day brings different challenges. There's always something that happens. But there is certain shifts and certain times of the year where you just have shifts like no other. So a few examples with that would of course be Christmas Day. I didn't work Christmas Day, unfortunately. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. Of course, you are away from home for Christmas. You are away from home for like big events like that. Christmas, of course, working abroad, the vibes, that would just be amazing working that day. My favourites, New Year's Eve is an incredible shift. Epcot on New Year's Eve is just incredible. Like, I would go back as a guest on New Year's Eve just to Epcot because wow, wow, wow. There's like DJs in every pavilion. It's like after hours, it's open till 1 a.m. There's like laser shows, there's silent discos. There's 2 fireworks shows. So you have the normal luminous fireworks show. Then they have the special New Year's Eve, ringing in the New Year's Eve fireworks. So in the UK pavilion, I don't know if you know, if you're a big fan of the CRP and you've been stalking everyone and watching everyone's stories, you'll know about what happens on New Year's Eve. But basically at 7 p.m. American time, that is when the UK hits New Year. So at 7 p.m, everyone in the pavilion goes out onto the streets and sings Auld Lang Syne and has a big celebration, which is lovely. And that is definitely a programme highlight, something that everyone remembers. Of course, if you've seen the TikToks, seen the videos, you know that the UK pavilion gets literally landlocked. There is so many people in there. It's hell if you're a guest. But it's just an amazing experience. And the serotonin, I think that's the word, just building, like everyone was just so happy and joyful, and that is exactly what the programme's about. Just being a big family away from home, embracing each other, accepting that, yeah, we're not home, but we're going to have the best time of our lives, and that's exactly what I did. St. Patrick's Day was another amazing shift in the UK Pavilion, of course. So we celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the UK Pavilion. In the pub and in the fish and chip shop, we actually dye the beers green. Our light beer, which was Harp Lager when I was there, we had like a bottle of green food dye and we'd dye the beers green, which was, I mean, very stereotypical and very Americanized, but it was a bit of fun. And I was going ham that day. I was in the fish and chip shop that day and I was dyeing everyone. I wanted to bring the fun to everyone, so I was dyeing people's Sprites, people's lemonades, people's tap water, because a lot of people come to the fish and chip shop for tap water. I was like, do you want it green? And our hands, I will try and insert pictures, hopefully I'll be able to do that. But our hands after the shift were dyed green for a good few days. But that's another one I remember. Another amazing shift, probably my most like emotional, like one that I will always remember is my last shift. Now my last shift is probably one of my favourites just because it was the end. It was the final hurrah. So at the end of my programme, I was a server. So the last 6 months of my programme, I was a server. So that meant I was in the Rose and Crown pub and dining room, serving waiting tables. Now, in the UK Pavilion, we have a fireworks dining package, which happens every night. People can pay a fixed price to have a 3-course meal, unlimited alcohol, and dine with a view of our fireworks show over the lagoon. Now, we do this every night. And if you're a server, you have the opportunity to pull that section and serve that section for that night. That means you're taking care of the fireworks guests. Now, on your last day, you get to choose your section. It's just a nice thing that the leaders let you do on your last day. You can choose your favourite section or however you want to end your programme. And, of course, my arrival group was 5 people. Me, Alex, Darcy, Megan and Beth. And we decided we were going to have the whole of Lower Deck and serve the fireworks tables for our final night. So we'd all be in a row. We'd all watch the fireworks show with our guests, cry one last time. And yeah, so we decided that. So it's a prepaid package. I'm going to explain this as quick as possible. It's a prepaid package. The guests arrive at 7:45, I believe, for dining, and the fireworks show's at 9. So they have their meal, then they end the night with the big fireworks show. So the whole section is clear, ready for 7:45. So all our servers were here ready to attack and ready to serve these tables the second they're seated. Everybody's seated at the same time. So it's a very, very stressful occasion. If you arrive at the Rose and Crown dining room at about 7:45, it is very hectic at that time because it's coming to the end of the night. The fireworks guests have just arrived. Very hectic, very stressful. I'd say it's the most stressful thing you can do at work in the UK Pavilion. Calm before the storm, all the tables are clear, we're ready to seat the tables. And I can't remember who came up to me, but someone came up to me and said, Charlie, just to let you know, you've got 4 guests on your fireworks tables and they're huge fans of you. They've watched your videos. And I just couldn't believe it because my whole time serving, I don't really think I got many people that watched the channel. I mean, Alex got quite a few. Freya got quite a few guests. Megan got a few. Like, a lot of people had viewers that dined with them, but I don't think I had many people. So it was just fate that my last ever guests, my last ever tables were viewers of the channel. It was just so crazy. And like, they let them know and they made that special moment. They booked the fireworks package and you book that 60 days in advance. So they would have had no idea that I was there at that time, no idea that it was my last day. And honestly, like, that almost brought a tear to my eye anyway, because that was just such a magical thing and the stars aligned and like, it was just amazing. And they were so lovely, this lovely group. If you're watching this video, thank you so much, because honestly, you made my last day so beautiful. And then, like, we serve, and then of course the fireworks happen. We're watching it for the last time, got our arms around each other in the street. So emotional. I've actually printed it off. Ah, everything's falling. This is my shrine. This is my CRP shrine. I'll show you a glimpse of it soon. But this is us, all outside the Rose and Crown when the fireworks are on, all holding our hands. That beautiful moment. And we're all holding on to each other, holding back tears. And in the second the fireworks are done, we had to run back to our tables and hope that everyone was okay. Because, of course, we leave them to watch the show. We don't want to bother them. So we leave them for, like, the 18-minute show. Then, of course, when the fireworks end, we run back to the show, see if they need any drinks, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, they're just a few of the amazing shifts you'll have. But, again, there's so many other opportunities for amazing shifts. Of course, like national holidays, 4th of July. So many amazing shifts that could happen. But they're just a few that just stick with me because it was just absolutely phenomenal, an amazing experience. Next is, what was your favourite job role in the pavilion? So the pavilion, weirdly, you might only think there's like 3 roles you can do. There are like 10 different job roles you could do in the pavilion in food and beverage. By the way, if I haven't explained this, I was food and beverage my whole programme. Just want to put you out there. There's food and beverage and merchandise in the UK pavilion. I was food and beverage if you haven't watched my videos. So, what you might know of is fish and chip shop. You might work in the fish and chip shop. That's true. There's a few different roles in there. You could be serving. You could be putting the order through. There is the beer cart as well, where we have the beers. There is stocking, which you might not see. That is when you're stocking up everything. You might be in the keg room, tapping all the kegs. You might be getting all the kegs from backstage. You're basically assisting, running around the pavilion like a headless chicken. You've got a radio on and you're running around getting things for people. Oh, we need ketchup in here. Oh, we need the Guinness keg changed. Oh, we need this. So you'll be running around like a headless chicken for a few hours, which is very fun. This was my favourite. There might be pub doors, so of course the pub gets so busy on the weekend, as you can imagine, a lot of guests drinking around the world and things like that. So you could be on the pub doors, letting people, being just a safety marshal kind of, letting people in the pub, crowd controlling, limiting people from getting in, just waiting for the queue to die down, directing guests where to go inside. You could be a greeter, so when our restaurant opens for the day, you might be greeting the guests, checking them in on the iPad. You might be a seater, you might be seating the guests. You might be, they're checked in, right, we're going to take you to your table. You could be cleaning. I got a few jobs to clean around the pavilion. You could be magic making. You could be on the streets if there's spare time, if we've got a lot of staff on that day. You could be on the street, communicating with guests, making magic, making people laugh, making people smile. That is a beautiful part of the job. So love it, love it, love it. Me and Matt, we had a whiteboard at our time, so we would always be on the street with a whiteboard doing quizzes and games with the guests. There's so many, and then of course if you move into service, you could be a food runner, you could be a server. There's so many different things and it's so good. No day is the same. Very, very good. Of course, I loved stocking. I love running around. I love doing little missions. So stocking was really a great job for me, of course. Some people hate stocking. They hate it because it is a lot of hard labour. You're running around in the heat. You're tapping kegs. You're carrying heavy things. Big CO2 canisters. So heavy. So there's a lot of actual labour involved in that job. But I loved it. I love doing things like that. Of course, serving guests, talking. Of course, any guests. any viewers of the channel that came and see me. Hopefully I was busy and actually doing work when you came and saw me. But yeah, amazing. So much fun. There's also World Exploration Days. So I was actually a host of a World Exploration Day a few times. So that is when the new cast members come. We have someone from the pavilion give them a little tour around. They do their alcohol license, all their paperwork and computer work. And I had to do that a few times to a few groups. So it was nice for me to like be trusted to welcome people to the pavilion and like get their first day started and kind of give them a tour, show them the ropes, show them where they'd be, show them like the emergency things and things like that. So yeah, very nice. I loved doing that. The next question is, do you get many days off? What is the schedule like? So it's a full working week. 5 days is the usual. Sometimes it could be 4 days. You normally get your same 2 days off, exactly the same every week, unless there's a schedule change. So I believe when I was in my whole year, my schedule changed 3 times. So when I started, about 4 months into my program, our schedules changed. Then I moved into service and my schedule changed again. And then about 2 months before I finished, the schedule changed again. So every so often, I think it's when like, don't quote me on this, but I think it's when like 50% of the workforce leaves, there's a new schedule bid in place. Something like that, but I don't know. Because it's a constant rotation in the pavilion, there's people arriving, people leaving like every week. There's so much happening. So it's just a well-oiled machine. Very well organised, I will say. Very pleased with that. And especially coming back to the UK, you just see how amazing Disney was and how amazing and organised it was, especially coming to the UK and seeing how things are run here. Yeah, very, very impressed with how Disney sorted things. Next question is, can you go into the parks whenever you want? Yes and no. So you have your main gate. Your main gate allows you to tap into the parks whenever you want. You do have to make a reservation, I believe, as right now. Don't know if that will change, but you do have to make your park reservations before you tap in. There is certain block out dates. So of course you can imagine Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, like big dates, 4th of July. Tickets will be very limited for cast members because guests would most likely have fully booked the park out. So there might not be many left for cast members to take up. So do be aware that on busy dates like that, like half term, spring break, that's what they call it, spring break, very busy at Disney World. Especially if a new ride opens. So when Tiana's Bayou Adventure opened, Magic Kingdom was completely blocked out for cast members for like a whole month. So do be aware that there is certain closures and block out dates for cast members. But for the most part, you'll be okay. The next question is, how often did you go into the parks? So if you saw my vlogs, you know that I was always in the parks. So, of course, you work your 5 days in the parks. So that's 5 days out of 7 that you're in the parks. Often, we try and do one other day of the week in the park. So let's say that's 6 days. And then the other day of the week, we try to do something different. So that might have been like a Disney Springs day and then go out for the night. That might have been, oh, we're going to go to Universal on the other day. So you do live in theme parks for the year. If that's your thing, of course, it's completely up to you. But I definitely spent a lot of my time in the parks and I absolutely loved it. That's where I wanted to be. I'm so glad I did that rather than come home from work, stay in my flamingo room for my 2 days off, then go back to work. Like, that is not the life I wanted to live in America. I wanted to get out there, make the most of my program, and I definitely did that, and I'm so happy I did. Next question is, did you ever get bored of rides? Did it feel like normal life? So no, I didn't get bored of rides. Did it feel like normal life? Weirdly, it did, because you're in the routine of, oh, I'm waking up, I'm having a shower, I'm getting ready for work, I'm getting on the bus. So you're in that routine after a while. Of course, it does feel like you're on holiday because the sun's shining every day and there's a blue sky and it's so nice. Like, things like that, I really miss the blue sky and the sunshine. It really does make such a difference. I say that to the British guests that came. They're like, what's it like? And I'm like, it's so nice seeing a blue sky every day. Like, especially the Americans, they don't understand like how grey it can be in the UK. Like, it's grey so much of the year. The grey sky, it does affect you. It does really have a massive effect on your mental health, because in America, just coming outside in a t-shirt and shorts every single day, it's so nice. So nice. Even though the heat is just horrendous, especially in the summertime. It's just so nice to not have to wear those layers and layer up and just see a gloomy grey day in the rain. Like, yeah, America gets rain, but I'd rather take American rain and the massive torrential thunderstorms in America than the gloomy, cold rain in England. I'm sorry. I've got a real taste for America now, a real nice taste. Yeah, it was lovely. Did it feel like normal life? Of course, it does feel like normal life because you're independent and you're all on your own and you're doing your chores. You got to do your food shop every week. You got to put your laundry on. Weirdly, I absolutely loved it. I loved looking after myself and having my own apartment and putting my wash on and like washing my bedding every week and like washing my towels and cleaning my room. Like, I loved that part of the program, but I'd always do it on a work day. So this is another hack. I always did all my chores on work days. So I'd do my food shop before work. One day I would come home from work, put my washing on. I'd always do my chores on my work days so that my days off were my full days off and I wouldn't have to do any chores or any business like that. My days off were full days off. I could spend them all doing whatever I want. So yeah, good piece of advice, another one. Next one is, did you get any freebies or offers of as cast members? Yes, you do. During most of my program, we had 50% off merchandise. That does fluctuate, I will say. So sometimes it's 20%, then it's 40%, then it's 30%. 50% was a good majority of my program. I don't know why that was, but I don't think it's the same now, but it always fluctuates and changes. Hotels, you get discount on hotels. I never understood how to do that. I still don't. Alex, our queen, was the queen of hotels. So she was so good. But yeah, as cast members, you can get discount on hotels. Park passes, of course, you get your discounted park passes. You get your guest passes as well for your family and friends. That's 3 of them. They have 16 days on them each. So free passes for family and friends, 16 days on them each, and your own pass. Those 16 days, so say you are going into the park with your mum and dad. Your mum and dad are tapping their cards for 2 days. That means it will go down from 16 to 15 to 14 days left on all of the cards. So say mum's only coming out with you in the park today. So say mum's only coming to the park with you today and your dad stayed in the hotel and you've got 13 days remaining. All the cards will go down to 12 days the second your mum taps in. So all your cards go down every day. It doesn't have 16 each, it's 16 altogether. I hope that makes sense. We got snack coupons. We got 2 rounds of snack coupons. You normally get some in summer, some in winter. And that means you can get yourself like a bottle of Coke, a cookie, a popcorn, ice cream sandwich in the parks with a snack coupon. You normally get like 10 of them at a time, which is very nice. I never used mine. I'm so bad. I've still got them with me here at home. So yeah, remember to use them up, because I just kept them for a rainy day and then the rainy day never came, so I'd always just be buying them. We got an Epcot blanket for Epcot's birthday. I've got it right here. This is a lovely cast member exclusive blanket. Very nice, soft and warm. That was free. You get free cups on days like festival opening days, like Flower and Garden. We got free like cups as we go into work. You get cast events, special events like cast member appreciation days. They opened Animal Kingdom up till really late one night, so we got to go all there after work. That was in one of the vlogs as well. So they do a lot of character meet and greets before you go into work, things like that. So yeah, really well looked after. Love all things like that. So yeah, definitely a lot of perks for this job, which is amazing. Next is, how hard is the work and did you feel adequately trained in the job? So Yummy Jobs asks for 2 years experience. So if you have 2 years experience in a food and beverage setting, you should be okay with the job. It is extremely fast paced. There's some days where you feel like you are giving it everything and it is just so stressful and comes on top of you. Of course, you've got the added pressure of the heat. You've got the added pressure of like all these guests. There's always something happening. Of course, with so many people from so far around the world, you could get ill. Of course, I got ill quite a few times and I kind of narrowed it down to there's so many people from so different places mixing and all them germs. Well, not say people bring germs, but like, you know, all them germs, you're touching money, you might just all these things like freshers flu. We called it freshers flu in the pavilion because everyone's come from a different place and it's all mixing and it's just attacking your immune system. So I will say it is definitely hard, especially if you're under the weather and you're ill. It's very hot, of course. Heat affects people, especially guests. If you've been walking around all day in the park, you're very hot and bothered, your kids are screaming, people are going to be not the nicest. So it's very important to know that. And that's also you. You're working hard in the very hot heat. Sometimes you might not have an umbrella above your head, so you might be really hot. The sun's blazing on you. Of course, your temper kind of, not to say you have a bad temper, but you know what I mean? Like, you might not be feeling it one day. So it's important to know that like not every day's perfect and the work can sometimes be hard depending on like all the supporting factors around the job. Did I feel adequately trained? So you are trained by your fellow cast members. I was a Disney trainer. A lot of people in the pavilion are made trainers because of the big turnover of staff, the newbies coming in. So the more you progress in the job, the more responsibility you're given to train your fellow cast members. Of course, I liked that because the person training you has literally been through what you're going through. So I like that about it because they have done it 2 or 3 or 4 months ago. So they are very fresh. They are very understanding on how you are as a person. You're all in the program together, so you're very understanding. It's not like it's some big American boss that's talking down to you and having a go at you because you're not doing it right. You're all in it together. You're being trained by your fellow cast members. I like that. I like that about it. Depends how you are as like a trainee as well. If you take information well, of course you're going to be really good. So yeah, how was the management team? Absolutely okay. I've got a very strong relationship with the managers. I'm friends with most of them still to this day. Our coordinators were angels. That's a shout out to you, Ziamara, Catherine, Jacob. Our Charlie's angels, literally our biggest supporters, especially of this channel. Our coordinators would watch our YouTube videos on their breaks. You'd just come upstairs and they'd be watching our videos, which was amazing. And so much love for them. They're so, so nice, so supportive. By the time this video goes up, I don't think they'll be working in the pavilion anymore, but so much love to them. I can't wait. Like, I really want to go back just to see them. So if I do make it back to Orlando, do go on vacation there, my first stop is to see Jacob, Catherine and Ziamara. So much love for you, especially from all of Charlie's Angels. We love you guys so much. If you're watching, I hope you're watching, guys. What is something you wish was done differently? That's a great question. I like the menu. I wish it was different in the Rose and Crown. So I wish there was a few more things on the menu. Of course, us as Brits, we know what we're talking about. We know what we want on the menu. The menu was actually created by a British chef, so we don't have too many complaints with it. We just want more variety and more things and want it to be updated. Starting with like curry sauce with the chips, like some proper chippy dipping sauces, that would be great. If you're listening, Epcot. I wish the program was like 1.5 or 2 years long. I know the embassy, and I know this is probably nothing to do with Disney. It's all the embassy rules and like things like that. And especially since COVID, the embassies have all changed and rules and things. But I feel like 1 year kind of ended anticlimactic. I feel like I could have easily done 2 years. 2 years would have been fine. So yeah, 2-year program, that would make it beautiful. But I understand a year away from your family and friends and everything you know is so much as it is. And a lot of people don't make it throughout the whole year. I do want to be very frank and very open. During my time there, a lot of people ended their programs early. And I think that is something important to know. The program is hard. Although it seems like a dream life and it seems amazing and you watch these videos and you think, oh my God, I'm going to have the best experience of my life. A lot of people aren't having fun. A lot of people don't have the best experience of their life. You're so far away from home, especially if you're so attached to your family and friends back home. If you're in a relationship, people really struggle if they're in relationships back home, long distance. It can be really hard for you. I don't want to say you will struggle, you will have this, but some people arrive to the program thinking it's going to be sunshine and rainbows and amazing, and unfortunately it might not be that experience for you. So many different factors could affect your program, so I want you to know that while it looks like a dream life, while it looks amazing on social media, there are days where you do feel like you want to go home, and there are things from home you really miss. So it's important to know that 13 months away from home is a long, long time, especially if you've never done it before. Try it out first. Of course, Yummy Jobs do so many smaller programs that are only 3 months, 6 months at a time. So give that a go. But definitely give the program a go if that's for you. Next is, did I serve anyone famous? I don't know. I don't really know many celebrities. A lot of celebrities came to the pavilion. So we had like the Kardashians. We had Liam Payne. Like loads of people on their Instagram stories put the pavilion up. This is how we knew. Like although we might not have seen them with our eyes, we see it on their Instagram stories or on their Instagram that they're in Epcot and they came. When I was there, like Sabrina Carpenter was in Epcot. Jojo Siwa came a few times. I didn't serve many celebrities, but I know who did, and that is Saf's Adventure Book. I don't know if we can say who we served or things like that, but Saf's Adventure Book, she was a celebrity magnet at work. I would just say that right now. I don't think I can say any more, but yeah, Saf's Adventure Book, she really did attract the celebrities. Next, did I do any backstage tours? Of course I did. I worked at Disney. I'm a massive fan of Disney. This is all I ever wanted to do. And of course I did. So I did a backstage tour of Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios. Amazing, incredible. We did backstage tour of all the rides. We saw all the theming, all things like that. We went underground, under the tunnels. Slinky Dog Dash. We saw all of the behind the scenes. I don't know if I can say this. But yeah, amazing. We had to get up so early. I think at 4, 5 a.m. Me and Freya went. Amazing. Such a good experience. I did a backstage tour of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which wasn't even planned. We did the cast preview for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. If you watch the video, the YouTube video is there. And unfortunately, the ride, we don't know because it was cast members only at the time. So we don't know if they were just practicing evacuations, but we did get evacuated and we got to go behind the scenes, behind the actual scenes of the ride and evacuate, which was very fun. I did a backstage tour of the parades, which was amazing. The parades in Magic Kingdom. So I got to see all the parade vehicles, all the like dance studios and things like that, which was amazing. I got to go in the utilidors underneath Magic Kingdom. Got to go in the underground tunnels, which was amazing. Something I did not think was possible in my program because, of course, I work at Epcot. But that was amazing. Career highlight, massively. I did have, and I was booked onto a backstage tour of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot. Unfortunately, I was not allowed to go because I was actually booked in for work at that time. Because normally backstage tours happen in the morning before the park opens. But this one was like at 7, 8 p.m. at night, which was weird. Saf's Adventure Book, if you follow Saf's Adventure Book, she did the programme with us. She's a massive fan of Ratatouille and Remy and all that. Too much of a fan if she's watching. We both got booked on, so we're like, yeah, we're going to do it together. I'm going to get it off work. Because normally you can request ADOs. I don't know if I'm giving too much information out, but you can book off additional days off sometimes. I requested one, didn't get it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask for an ER, an early release from your shift. So if there's too many staff members, sometimes they can give you an early release. I said, I've got the backstage tour of Remy's. Please, 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 I'm Charlie, I'm really nice. Please. And unfortunately, I was not granted that early release. So I missed my tour. I had like a mark on my actual like name because I didn't turn up. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't do that tour. But hey. The next one is, I heard they work you a lot, but it's really fun. That is 100% accurate. So much fun. But yeah, it is hard work sometimes. Next is, can you stay for another year? Unfortunately not. The visa is 13 months. After 13 months, you have to leave the country. You are no longer allowed in the country on that visa. After 13 months, it expires. You are in that country without a visa. You have to leave, unfortunately. Next, would you like to continue to work for Disney long term? Well, that's a silly question. Of course I would. If anyone from Disney is watching, hello. I'm great. I would love to work for Disney long term. Anything. I'll say anything. Yeah, I'd love it. Love to work for Disney long term. Unfortunately, there's not many opportunities from people from the UK. Of course, there is the Cultural Representative Programme. There is the CEP, but unfortunately that's for people enrolled in university, which I've not done. There's the cruise line, of course. There's a lot of international things. But if I could live in America a long time, work for Disney, that would be the dream. So if anyone's listening and can make that happen, please let me know. Next, if you could work on an attraction, what would it be? Wow. Wow. So initially, I want to say Guardians of the Galaxy because that's my favourite ride at Disney. I just want to be able to ride it all the time, really. Rock and Roller Coaster has an amazing costume. I love the costume, the denim jackets. I don't know if that will probably change when it gets rethemed to Muppets, but that's amazing. Living with the Land, because I'd love to explore the sets and like go in the house and like, I don't know if you're allowed to do that as attractions cast members, but I'd love to do that. Na'vi River Journey, I'd love to like walk around the set too. Yeah, loads of different things like that. I'd love to just wear the costumes. I probably could have just tried on the costumes and costuming, but I don't want to break any rules. Next is, do you keep your tips you earn when you become a server? Yes, you do. The second you become a server, second you pass your test, your hourly wage gets dropped dramatically, and then you are in a tipped role. So you do rely on tips to pay for your like rent, your bills, like everything. So you are relying on tips from that point. So yeah, the tips you make are your own from that point. You still have to pay taxes on it. It is just like your regular income. But yeah, that is what happens. Next is, can you pin trade with guests in food and beverage? Of course you can. Although I was in food and beverage, you're not always dealing with food. Of course, you could be out on the front making magic, like I said. You could be a seater, you could be a greeter. We have like the pin, like, I don't know what they're called, belts, where we've got like a little pin pouch. We've got a pin pad, like a pin board on the actual pavilion podium. So yeah, definitely can pin trade, absolutely. Next is, do you have to pay for your flight to Orlando? Yes, you do. Are you given the opportunity to grow and take on new positions after the program? Unfortunately not. Once your program ends, that's it, that's done. Leave the country. Your last day, that's it. Adios, bye. That's it. Of course, there is other Disney programs. There's like a culinary program. There's so many things like that out there for certain different people. Like I said, there's the cruise line and things like that. But once your program ends, especially if you're a UK cast member, you just have to end. You have a month of travel, then you leave the country. If you want to stay for that month, you can stay. If you want to leave straight away, you can leave straight away. It's completely up to you. And the last question of today is, was it everybody's first time applying who got on the program, or was it people who did the program previously? So a lot of people apply a lot of times. A lot of people apply a lot of times to get on the program. I will say for my group, a lot of us were first time appliers that actually got the job. But when we got to the pavilion, so many people have done programs so many times, especially with Yummy Jobs. I will say a lot of people throughout my year had also done the Lowe's program with Yummy Jobs before. So maybe that is like a gateway into the CRP. A lot of people did the CEP before. A lot of people have done the CRP before. When I was there, people have done the program like 4 times. So yeah, I feel like if you have worked abroad before, if you have worked for Disney before, if you have worked for Yummy Jobs before, you definitely have an advantage in those interview stages because you've actively shown that you can work abroad and you are competent at living on your own, integrating with a different culture. And I feel like that is the main thing about this cultural representative program. You have to be able to do all those things and tick all those boxes. So if that is another big piece of advice that I've been saying this whole year. Get the valid experience, go out there, chase your dreams, work hard, and the program will be yours. So that brings us to the end of this video. It's gone on for ages, I do apologise. I hope I answered as much as possible and cleared things up. In the next video, I will be talking more about my experience living at Flamingo, all things like that, the cultural representative program, roommates, drama, weekly food shop, things like that. So please stay tuned. I will see you next week for another video. I love you very much. Thanks very much. See you soon. Bye everybody.